Struggle is real, struggle is true. All my people stand firm, and I will stand with you.
You there? I like it.
Yeah, we're good.
I think you're good. All right, I'm going to do a quick intro. Aloha and welcome to the Defeating Can't podcast. I'm Andy Bestwick, founder of the Can brand. I'm in Las Vegas today with our chief brand ambassador, Keali'i, aka Hawaiian, who is joining us from Oahu. Keali'i flew over from Kauai to check on his family and to also check in with Miss Jenna Katlin. Miss Katlin is a 7th grade math teacher at Wahiawa Middle School in Honolulu. We were connected to Miss Katlin after she reached out to tell us about the incredible work she's doing in her classroom to defeat can't. She recently emailed us saying, I recently saw a can sticker and had to find out more and share. In my classroom, you cannot say I can't. If you do say I can't, you must go over to the I can jar and write down 2 things you can do, math or not math related. She goes on to say, I was so excited to learn about your mission and efforts in Aina-based education. If you have any resources or ever find yourself on Oahu, I would love an opportunity to provide more resources to my students. Not long after this email, Keali'i jumped on a plane with some canned gear to stoke out 120 of her students. I'm so excited to have both of them on the call today, as they're both super passionate about education and our keiki, and of course, we're super passionate about supporting our teachers. So I just wanted to kick things off with that connection because it's pretty awesome that she's set that mindset in her classroom. I think as a young teacher. How long have you been teaching?
This is my first year as a teacher.
Well, that's amazing. Maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit in terms of how you ended up on Oahu at Wahiawa Middle School and a little bit about your journey, maybe.
Totally. So my name is Jenna. I'm 23, which is a big secret to most of my students. A lot of them don't know how old I am. But last year, actually a year ago, I graduated from undergrad college from Tulane University,
Great
where
school.
I studied psychology and dance. Throughout middle school, high school, and college, I found a real passion for health education. And I really did that all throughout college. I worked at campus health. I did mentorship programs. And when it kind of came time for me to decide what I was going to do after college, I felt kind of lost. I didn't really know how to combine my true passion for education and with my love for health education. And I kind of found that maybe my dream job could be like a health teacher, like a gym teacher. But those jobs are few and far between, and I felt like it would be a good start for me to just see what it's like to be just a general education teacher. So I applied for a program called Teach for America, which places teachers in high-need schools around the U.S. And so I just I applied, kind of just feeling like, oh, I'm going to apply for my first job. I'm going to submit the application. But as I went through the application process and the interview, I figured this is really what I want to do. So I was accepted into the program I originally thought I was going to teach secondary special education. And I was originally placed to teach high school, but because of the law, some things changed. And I ended up interviewing with the principal at Wahiawa Middle School. And having a background, I guess, of no educational or limited educational experience, it's pretty intimidating, but you go through a pretty rigorous summer training program to kind of prepare you for the classroom. And honestly, once I got to my classroom, I really owe it to my co-teachers, my coworkers who really saw the potential in me to be able to be successful as a teacher and have been so kind and so accepting and taught me so much about my students and about how to get through to them. And I guess where the can came from, I studied psychology. I'm pretty familiar with the idea of growth mindset. But when I was in middle school, I went to summer camp and they had a saying, there was no I can't at Camp Woodland. And if you said can't, you had to switch it and say, I can, I will, and I will do it right away.
That's awesome.
So I kind of switched it into the classroom to be more focusing on giving students the opportunity to identify a positive thing in their life, whether it's math or not math, because in my summer school experience, students would just be like, I can't do that, and that's the end. So it's the end of the conversation. They've decided that they can't do it. They're not going to try anymore. But with this can and with the I can jar, they really get onto each other about it. And it kind of opens the door for them to be able to at least try, or know that not doing anything or not trying at all isn't a possibility.
Right.
So
You got to
that's
make
kind of
an
the
effort.
long,
Yeah.
it's the long way around, but that's kind of how I ended up with the I can jar 7th grade math in Wahiawa.
Absolutely love the journey. And I have to commend you. You know, I think from my limited knowledge of young teachers, especially this day and age, the first year is really challenging. And I can hear it in your voice. You're still stoked, it sounds like, and you're going to be back for more next year. Teaching math is so important. It's something that we need more math and science teachers, and maybe that's why you couldn't get into physical education. Maybe it was packed with teachers already. But it's awesome that you're there. And Hawaiian dropped in with a bunch of gear. Maybe we can tell that story because that's kind of fun. So after you reached out to us, Keali'i jumped on a plane and flew over. So jump on in, Hawaiian. How'd that all go?
Yeah, that was good. I actually came over for my daughter's volleyball tournament, so it all worked out at the same time. And to see what she was doing in the school and putting it all together for the children, which I love kids all the time, and whatever anybody can help kids out with, I'm down to help. And seeing the classroom and how she did everything and how the kids react to her is really a good thing. The kids really love her and they have positive attitudes. You got to keep the kids in a positive direction. So a lot of kids don't have it. I mean, we have some bad apples, but just got to make it work, right? That's why we're here to motivate them in the spirit of can.
Yeah, and you and I talked a lot about, you end up addressing the kids almost as a parent in certain instances, because you might not always have someone to talk to at home, and that psychology comes into play. I think, Jenna, and that's probably a great background to have, and I don't know if you have these experiences, but we both are so proud of teachers that we know have students that lean on them, and it's important that we lift them up. And I think that's the proudest thing I want the brand and to be part of. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that, because we just had a call before we spoke with you, and that was a really important topic for both of us.
Yeah, caring for the kids and how the kids react to different people's respect and that the opinions, because some parents are kind of hard for them taking care of the kids when they come home from work. They're angry, so most parents yell at them, and the kids veer from that, so they look for another friend to talk to sometimes. So sometimes a teacher or a friend is actually better to talk to than your own parents. Sometimes I've been noticing with my own kid, but then we keep our communication. I always tell her I love you, and then we take care of each other. But there's always that time that they want to listen to different people instead of their parents, you know.
Yeah. I think for my students, I've seen that there's an extremely wide variety of students and home lives and family values. And when students come to school, it needs to be structured, and they thrive off of structure. And I think sometimes structure can look different, but most traditionally it can look like a pretty firm environment. But they thrive off of it because they know exactly what you expect from them, and you are letting them know that you hold them to an extremely high standard, and you expect them, and you know they can achieve that high standard. Because as soon as you start to let it go and accept anything less than your high standard, they will realize that they don't need to achieve more than what they think they can do. But I think those words of affirmation are so, so powerful and go such a long way. And I actually got a letter from a student of mine yesterday, and in her letter it is like 3 sentences, but one of them was like, "And you tell me that I'm smart, and I appreciate that." And it's not even like a second thought to me to tell my students that they're smart. But when you're the only one that's doing that, it has such a huge impact. And I don't even know if I realized what a huge impact it has on my students.
Man, that's so awesome. So powerful, right? I mean, that's like,
Yeah.
that's what we love about education. And I've never been a teacher, but I have a lot of friends that are educators, and it's something that, and Matt Shackley, you'll meet him one day, that the science of can stuff we've talked about is that purposeful state that you end up in, and that gratitude that you get filled with. And I think it's so awesome what you're doing in terms of that structure and that consistency. I didn't really think of it like that. It's almost like when you go to work, if you have a consistent game plan, when Hawaiian goes to work and he loves work, he's a work animal, like he calls it 8 days a week. And I bet it's because of that consistency, right? That you know what people expect of you, what the job expects of you, and you get to perform. And then if people told you that you performed, you're even more stoked because you're getting that feedback that you know that you're on track.
Right.
Totally. Yeah. I just wanted to speak a little bit about what an incredible impact all your support and gifts had on my students. They were so excited. I did an activity for them where they filled out the can cards, and in turn they got a sticker and lanyard. And so we have two teams. The seventh grade is split into two teams, and our team name from the beginning of the year has been Holu, which means like resilience.
Uh-huh.
And we have my team has instilled in our students the idea of being resilient, that if you don't get that grade that you want that first quarter, it's not your only opportunity. You have more opportunities, but it's your responsibility to achieve that goal, to achieve what you want. And I told my students that this can stuff, these stickers, these lanyards, these are for you because you are part of Team Holu. And it really helped not only solidify this idea of can for them and this concept of Holu, but also just the team aspect of our seventh graders. And now they're all in there with their can stickers everywhere, their lanyards, and they love it. They always ask me for more. Kids, I have one student who wears like 4. Like he wears so many. They have them on everything. They're always asking me, like they now identify
That's
with
awesome.
this, with can.
We love it. That is so cool. I mean, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah. Support. We actually have one student here. My boy Joe Maloney came over with me too. What's your name, boy? Tell your name. Tell him your name. Joe. Where you from? I'll tell him. He's shy. He's not gonna talk, but he's a good kid. So I brought my living proof right here.
Joe's going to high school next year, right?
Yeah, high school next year.
That's a big step. And middle school is such an important place to learn failure, right? Like that resilience that you're teaching. We started to kind of come up with these games about confidence. Like how do you understand confidence? Well, confidence only comes after you actually become a kook. A kook is like a beginner surfer or some of the attempts.
Apprentice. It's apprentice.
Apprentice. Exactly. So you start out like, you got to fail, right? You have to decide to paddle out. Like that's the first step. And if you don't do that,
right.
And then you don't, and that's awesome that you're building that within the classroom, because you have to learn that early on, right? I mean, I think that's a psychology, a concept probably that is ingrained in you from what you learned in school, I would think.
Middle school in particular, I think we have a lot of is a transitional year, and we talk a lot about that. And I think you're right about learning failure in middle school, because when you're in elementary school, your parents are part of every decision that you make. Like you want to go play with a friend, your parents help you. But once you get to high school, they're not involved at all. So in middle school, you're really navigating what it means to make your own decisions and the consequences of your choices. Yeah. And so I know for myself, choice making and giving opportunity to make good choices is really going to be foundational to my classroom, which I'm excited about. So
that's so cool. I love that concept a lot. And as education evolves, you're seeing the importance of that, of like teaching people how to understand the resilience concept and what it means. I think that's an important thing and an important role. So I do want to ask you about your graduate work, because you did skip the fact that you're in graduate school right now at Johns Hopkins. Is that right?
Yes, you got it.
What are you pursuing there?
In addition to getting my certification in teaching and finishing that up, I'm also pursuing a master's in secondary education through Johns Hopkins University. So I'm wrapping up my first year. I kind of just finished my first year. I'm actually on my 2-week summer break right now before summer school, but it can be a lot. The readings and the conversations that I've been able to engage in have really opened my mind to thinking about my students in a way that I had not prior, in just about every way, about how I communicate with parents, about how my students, whether or not homework is important, was a conversation we had recently, and kind of everything in between. And so I guess starting in the fall, I'll start working on my capstone, which is like a collection of projects that I carry out, and I would love for CAN to be a part of that.
Sure.
It'd be
as
pretty
best
awesome.
as we're able to, we would love to support that. And like I said, we're trying to inch our way into something. We're passionate about education and kids, and especially supporting teachers, because you're actually the ones that know how to deliver the education. So it's sort of, in my mind, it's like, let's prop them up, give them tools to be proud of what they're doing and find their way and navigate through it so that they keep showing up. Because I think we lose a lot with first year teachers. I understand engagement, and sometimes we just lose them altogether. I did want to say that, Keali'i, you got some dreams we just talked about with a school of your own. I want you to talk about that a little bit, because you never know how that'll form, especially with an educator involved.
Yeah, we got a big event coming out, so I've got a lot of big contractors coming down, and they're going to come and play at a golf tournament. So hopefully I can get their support in getting that school for the kids, the operating school going for the kids.
Wow.
I mean, since it's graduation time, I mean, there's a lot of kids not going to college. There's a lot of kids that they're up in the air on what they want to do in their life. So right now is the time to take them and put them on those machines and get them. But there is an event in the Big Island on June 8th that I wanted to take some kids on, but there's the guy starting up an operating school for kids in Big Island. So I kind of want to be on board with something like that and get these kids operating and get them paid. Operators make some good money, man.
I learned that from him. It's an incredible trade, the booming industry. And I think middle schoolers start talking about dreams of college or what they want to do yet. I remember I was going to be a professional basketball player, but I mean, he knows how tall I am.
Professional surfer, I wanted to be.
Right. So
I got the surfer part, but not the pro.
I think that's such a cool concept in the trades and something that you'll see.
Yeah, any opportunity, I think teachers in general, and I know for myself that I can change the material to be about my students. It makes the learning 50% better, 60% better. Students learn way more when they understand what the problem is about, and even more when it relates to them and when it's about people that they know and things that they know. And that creates a lot of niche opportunities for education, but it's so helpful. My students love it. 7th grade math is kind of pre-algebra,
right,
but they need these skills in order to literally do anything. It doesn't matter what you do in your life or what job you pursue. I promise you will need 7th grade math. Algebra, I don't know, but 7th grade math, I promise.
Yeah.
It's like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and some common sense math. But the more you can make it about situations that students can relate to, the easier it is for them to understand the importance and honestly how to find the answer. That's important to you.
I can say when I see Hawaiian playing craps, I'm pretty sure he had at least Calc 1, maybe Calc 2. Watching him, like, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I'm like, how do you know all this? And how are you calculating all these things? And
numbers, man, numbers.
I know, right? You know the numbers well, better than me.
I'm pretty good at math.
Yeah, you are. So how do we keep? Obviously, math is so important. Are you able to shed a light on the real significance of understanding concepts as they go on in life?
It's always the goal. It's always the goal to make a clear intention between what you're doing and the importance of it, especially like for middle schoolers. I know moving forward, it will be more of an outward intention to be clear about why everything we do is important. So that every day we're coming into school going, yes, this is important.
Yeah.
But not only because you need math to do construction or you need to be able to compute to like work anywhere, but more so about all the other skills that we practice while we're doing math. We're problem solving, we're working with others, and we're practicing those interpersonal communication skills. And those skills will probably take you much farther than being able to multiply or divide a decimal without a calculator.
Man.
But being able to communicate with others is so important. And in middle school, they're just kind of starting to get that idea.
I'm so bummed that this is just an audio podcast. I got the biggest smile right now. That was so well said. like you nailed it. You know, like it will be those interpersonal skills, and really neat how you're approaching that stuff. So what's next year look like? You're obviously going to stay there and in 7th grade, right?
Oh, yeah. 7th grade. One more time, at least.
Okay. 7th
grade for sure. 7th grade math, the same next year. Introducing some new ideas, but I'm excited. It's going to be great.
And how long do you plan on staying on Oahu, or what do you, have you thought about that, or do you have a long-term strategy?
I have no long-term plan. I know I'm enjoying myself right now. Yeah. I know I can see myself here for probably at least another 2 years. I hope that I'm able to stay here, that my life works out so that I'm able to stay, and everything is good. But so far, this seems really like this is my place.
I wanted to just thank you for everything, for reaching out and allowing us to take a small part in what you're doing in the classroom, and we're here to support you as much as we're able to. So, you know, let me know about those things that you're doing with the graduate program. I think you mentioned that, but also what you're going to be doing with the students next year. And definitely, we would love to, those kids that are stoked on it. You know, we want it to be infused in education, but I always say I don't want it to become like DARE or something. So I really want to, you know, keep the kids excited about the concepts being cool and supportive of them. And I think that's why you're an awesome fit to help us do that and to have impact.
Absolutely. You guys are the ones I should be thanking. I just wanted to share my story, and I never really thought I would get as awesome of a response. And I feel so grateful that you guys have supported me and my students, and I feel just so eternally grateful for this opportunity and for you guys. You guys are, you have done the foundational work, and I'm so appreciative. I can't even believe I can believe actually
there you go.
that I found an organization that's based here, and you guys are willing to help. It's so awesome, and I love talking about it, and I'm so excited to share more and partner more and do more, and there's more good to come, and I'm really trying to eliminate can't from my vocabulary in any way possible. I'm really focused on it right now. It's my number one goal.
Well, it's a process. So, trust me, I'm almost 50, and defeating can't is a minute-by-minute, hourly battle. I was listening to something recently about not being too hard on yourself. That's the number one thing.
Yeah.
But you're doing amazing things, and we're super proud to be involved in Hawaiian, making time to come over and stuff. It's just awesome. So thank you guys. And what else? You got something else for me, Hawaiian?
We're good, man.
What's the plan now? You fly home, right?
I'm going to go visit Chris
Simpson?
Yeah, I'm going to go visit him right after this.
No way.
Yeah, we'll give him a couple shirts, yeah.
You're the man. He's awesome.
He's working at Whole Foods right now, so I'm going to go meet him over there.
No way. You got to get me a couple pictures.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures, bro.
Yeah.
Kaka'ako.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Oh, you're busy today, seeing everybody.
He's a good brother, bro.
Yeah. But you making the rounds everywhere today.
Everywhere. I went on Hawaii Island today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I did it in like 6 hours.
Are you guys leaving today too?
Yeah,
Oh my! You get here today?
this morning.
Day trip.
Yep.
Day trip.
Man, I
The
miss
best.
day trips.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah, good day trip.
go to Kauai, Jenna. You'll have a blast.
No.
You gotta. It's.
Can't do it for a day though. You gotta do it for like a weekend.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it like a weekend, but it's honestly, it's different. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what
Now
I
is the
call-
time, bro. Holy
Yeah.
Holly is nice, Brandy.
Yeah, I miss it all. And it's sort of like back in time a little bit in comparison to Oahu. So it's a little
Yeah.
bit slower
Cool.
and, you know, less
Places
humans,
where there's no people.
places where
Yeah.
there's no people. And, yeah, it's pretty cool.
There's a lot of places with no people.
Yeah. Yep. That's still a good thing.
Brother.
I love you guys so
Thank-
much. All right, cool. We'll call it a wrap. What's
Call it a wrap.
Call it a wrap. Okay. All right. Joe, love you,
Love
bro.
you, bro. Love you, brother. See you
Okay,
later.
you guys take care. Aloha. Bye.
Bye.
Struggle is real, struggle is true. All my people stand firm, and I will stand with you.